In the north of Canada, there was a small village, Lake Haven. The winters there were so long that people often took warmth from their memories. Named Anna lived with her grandmother in a wooden house. Every evening she went to the lake shore and listened to the faint sound of water trapped under the ice. One day she found a small box there. Inside was an old photo of a soldier and a letter. "If I don't return, let the ice tell my story." The next day, Anna asked the elders of the village, and they told her that the soldier was from their own village, and he never returned. After that day, whenever the ice melted, Anna went to the lake and said, "You've come back? I heard your message." The whole village said. When Anna spoke, a voice came from under the ice, as if someone was replying. In a small village of England, Hamley, an old woman, Rosa, ran a tea house. The special thing about her tea house was that she placed a rose with every cup. People said that the rose brought good luck. One day a young painter came, lonely, quiet, and penniless. Rosa smiled and said, "Don't worry about money. Just paint me a picture of my shop." A few days later, the picture was ready. Birds sitting outside the shop, rose petals wet with rain. And in the corner of the painting was written, "Tea ends, but its fragrance remains." 5 years later, when Rosa died, her tea house closed. But that painting still hangs in a cafe in London, where people say the scent of those roses is still there. In the rural area of America, Moon Valley, there was an old house. People called it the House of Shadows. They said at night an old lantern glowed there, though no one lived inside. A young couple, Emily and Ben, bought that house. The first night, when they slept, Emily heard a faint knock at the door. She opened it. No one was there, but a note lay on the ground. "This house stays silent, only when memories do not awaken." A few days later, they found an old diary inside the wall. It told the story of a woman who died waiting for her husband. Emily burned the diary, but since that day, the lantern has never gone out. People still say, when the wind blows in Moon Valley, that woman still calls her husband. In the middle of an old village stood a large oak tree. The villagers called it the Tree of Hope. Every year, people tied their wishes to it on paper. But one year, lightning struck and broke the tree. The villagers cried, as if their hopes had broken too. Then a little boy said, "The tree has fallen, not died. I'll make new branches grow." Years later, the tree stood again, and a plaque was hung on it. Hope never dies, it only changes its form. In an old Chinese village, Yangli, there was a poor boy, Chulin, who sat by the river every evening making paper boats. His mother used to say, "When your boat crosses the river, your destiny will change too." One day, a merchant came, picked up one of the boats, and said, "You have lucky hands, my boy. Come with me to the city." Chulin took his mother's permission and went to the city. Years later, that boy became a great artist. His paintings of paper boats became famous. When he returned to the village, the river had dried up, but a small boat was stuck at the bank. On it was written, "My son, your boat has reached its destination." In a mountain village of Japan, Kamagachi, cherry blossom, sakura, trees bloomed every spring. There was a girl, Yumi, whose father had gone to war. Before leaving, he said, "When the sakura petals fall, I will return." Years passed, every spring came, but her father didn't. Yumi tied a red ribbon to the tree every year. After 25 years, one day she found that same ribbon on the ground. With it, a small wooden box containing a soldier's photo and a note. "I couldn't return, but every spring I bloomed with your tree." After that, Yumi built a bench under the tree, and on it was written, "Love doesn't die with time, it only changes shape." In the desert region of Australia, outback, there was a boy, Liam. His grandfather was a star expert. He used to say, "Every mark on the sand is the reflection of a star, only if you know how to see it." One night, Liam saw a falling star land on the ground. He ran and found a small glowing stone. He called it the sand star. As time passed, Liam used that light to teach astronomy to children. Years later, when he grew old, he looked at the sky and said, "Grandpa, I've kept the stars alive on Earth." After his death, a small observatory was built there, named the Sand Star, where every night a lamp burns as if a star has descended to Earth. In the old Moroccan city of Fez, the streets were filled with fragrance of roses, oud, and saffron. There lived a girl, Zahra, who sold perfumes. She had an old bottle about which she said, "My grandfather got it from a desert sage. It brings peace to every sorrowful heart." One day, a tired traveler came, his eyes weary, his heart heavy. Zahra opened the bottle, and in a moment, the air filled with the scent of rain and oud. The traveler smiled as if his heart felt light after years. Before leaving, he said, "I come from the palace of the king, but peace I found only here. Where does this fragrance come from?" Zara replied. It comes from the sand. That which endures with patience turns into perfume. Years later, when that traveler became king, he built a palace and named it the Palace of Patience and Fragrance. They say even today the same scent lingers there. And when the wind blows, someone softly whispers, Zahra is still smiling. Thousands of years ago, by the Nile, there was a city, Dahrin. It was the place where, in the name of the sun god Ra, light was kindled every morning in the temple. In the center of the city lived a young priestess, Naira. They said Naira's face was bright as the moon, and her eyes deep as the Nile. One day, Pharaoh's soldiers brought a prisoner, a sculptor accused of carving a human face on the god's statue. Naira looked at him, her heart stopped for a moment. The prisoner said, I didn't carve the god's face. I carved the face of my dream. That face is yours. Hearing this, Naira trembled. Pharaoh ordered his death, but that night a storm came. Lightning struck the temple, and the statue of the god broke. In the morning, when people entered, they saw, inside the statue was carved a heart, and in the center of it was an inscription, Love is not greater than the gods, but it is their reflection. Naira disappeared. People said she drifted away with the Nile, but every full moon on the riverbank in the moonlight, a shadow appears, holding a glowing chisel as if still carving. And that city was named Dahrin, which means beyond time. For there, love had defeated even time. In a war-torn village of Bosnia, Mostar, lived an old muezzin, Yusuf Aga. The war had taken everything, the mosque's roof, his sons, and even his hearing. A bomb explosion had made him deaf. Yet every evening he stood on the prayer mat, faced the Qibla, and moved his lips as if giving the call to prayer. People asked, Aga, you can't hear, then why call the azan? He smiled and said, I cannot hear, but my Lord can. One snowy night, the village children sat around him. Yusuf Aga closed his eyes, raised his hands, and for the first time, the whole village heard a faint sound, as if the azan echoed through the air. Everyone said, that was Aga's voice, not from earth, but from the sky. Since that day, whenever it snows in that Bosnian village, people say Aga is calling the azan again. A little away from Paris, there was a small village, Montluer. The village was famous for its old café La Fleur, where a young girl, Emily, made coffee every evening. Her habit was, whenever it rained, she sat by the window and read old love letters found under the cafe tables. Those letters held people's dreams, separations, and promises. One day, an old man came, holding that same letter, the one he had once written in this cafe to his beloved, but left for war before giving it to her. Emily opened the letter. The ink was faded. The words read, If you are reading this letter in the rain, know that I have returned. The old man smiled and said, I have returned, but she is gone. You keep this cafe alive, because in every cup, someone's memory brews. After that day, on the cafe window was written, This cafe revives love in the rain. And even today, when it rains in that Paris village, people drink coffee there and say, through Emily's window, old dreams can still be seen. In the Turkish city of Konya, there was a small village where a dervish lived, Salim Baba. Every night he walked through the streets with a lantern in his hand and placed one before every door. One day, a young man asked, Baba, everyone's asleep. No one sees this light. Why do you light it? Baba smiled and said, I don't light it for the dark. I light it for hope. Years later, when Baba passed away, people saw. The lamps around his shrine lit themselves. Since that night, whenever someone's heart breaks in that village, people say, Salim Baba's lantern still burns. You just need eyes that can see. In an ancient Iranian village, Shiraz, lived a blind poet, Dara. He never wrote on paper, only formed words in the air, and said, My poetry can only be heard by those who have silence in their hearts. People thought he was mad. But one day, when a great storm struck the village, Dara faced the sky and recited a verse. And at that moment, the clouds split, rain poured down, as if nature itself had heard his words. After the rain stopped, a voice was heard from the earth. Dara, your poetry is written on hearts today, not on paper. Since that day, poets of Shiraz say, He who speaks from the heart, his words never die. Near the Spanish city of Granada, there was an old village, where every building was made of red bricks. People called it the Red Street. There lived an old painter, Isabella. Every day she painted the same scene, a street with sunlight falling on red walls. One day a girl asked, Why do you paint the same scene every day? Isabella said, I'm waiting for my husband, who left through this street. When I get the colors right, he will return. Years later, when she died, people saw her last canvas. For the first time, at the end of the street, a shadow was visible. When someone touched the painting, it felt the color was still wet. Even today, at sunset, that street truly turns red. as if love is still breathing inside a painting. Weston Village is a small village located in the province of Alberta, Canada. It has about 150 houses, dirt roads, a small school, a grocery store, and a community hall. Every morning, children walk or take the bus to school, while adults engage in farming, livestock rearing, and cutting wood from the local forest to sell. In the village, an elderly woman goes to the riverside every morning to fetch water. Her story intersects with Adam, who came to Weston to escape the city life and find peace. Adam, tired of the city's pride and fast pace, finds that in the simplicity of the village, everything has its time. Children play by the river, cows graze in the cool evening air, and on moonlit nights, the village is silent except for the occasional dog barking or the whisper of the river. Adam changes his life's purpose. He now makes furniture from wood, helps local people, and values simplicity. Norris Village is a small settlement in Norway near the coastline, between mountains and fjords. Winters bring heavy snowstorms, while summers are long and bright. The locals are quiet but very hospitable. Fishing is a major part of life, as is bringing wood from the forest. The village has a small church, a cafe where people drink coffee and talk, and a doctor's clinic. Children go to school in the morning and then climb mountains or pursue arts and music, like playing guitar or harmonica. One day, a storm hits the village, blocking roads with snow and causing a power outage, but the community comes together to light fires, share stories, cook food, and comfort children. The people of Norris Village know that even nature's harshness has its beauty: snow, cold, dark nights, and must be faced together. Weston Village is a small village with 150 houses and a small school. Most people engage in farming and livestock. Stories. Anna's story. A girl named Anna goes to the riverside daily. One day, she finds an injured deer. With the help of the village elders, she rescues it. This event connects the whole village, teaching them the importance of protecting nature. Adam's story. Adam, a young man from the city, is inspired by the village's beauty and peace. He watches sunsets from the mountains every evening and learns the village's history from elders. He changes his life's purpose to help the locals. Sarah's story. Every autumn, the village holds a maple sharing festival. Sarah, a local girl, prepares maple syrup with her grandmother and tells children the stories of maple trees, keeping traditions alive despite modern challenges. Tom's story. During the annual snow sculpting event, Tom, a city boy, creates a large snow sculpture. The village praises his work, and he decides not to return to the city, feeling valued in the village. Children's Museum. Story. Village children discover an old warehouse with historical items, and with elders' guidance, turn it into a village museum, fostering pride and community spirit. Michael's story. During the village snow games, Michael participates for the first time and impresses everyone with his creative snow castle. Elders teach him that patience and creativity matter, and he learns that success comes from effort and community support. Lily's story. Lily spends time at the lake with her grandmother. She finds an injured duck, and with the village, learns the importance of wildlife protection. Emma's story. Emma, a city girl, moves to the forested village. She gets lost in the woods, but is found with the village's help. She learns that without community cooperation and respect for nature, no village can thrive. Joshua's story. Every autumn, children celebrate the harvest festival. Joshua surprises the elders with his prepared fruits and vegetables, teaching everyone that hard work and teamwork are essential for success. Other villages and stories. 6. Snowbridge, Alberta, a mountain village with long winters. Michael participates in the annual snow games and learns that success comes from effort and community support. 7. Frood Lake, Ontario, a lakeside village where Lily rescues an injured duck, teaching the importance of wildlife care. 8. Unudale, British Columbia, a forested mountain village where Emma learns the value of community help and environmental respect after getting lost in the woods. 9. Birch Hill, Saskatchewan, a village among fields with an annual harvest festival. Joshua teaches children that success requires hard work and teamwork. 10. Meadowview, Alberta, a village between open fields and pink skies. School children clean an old field to turn it into a community park, fostering love and cooperation. Weston Village life is peaceful again. The riverside's gentle flow reminds Anna and the villagers that together they can face any challenge. Pine Ridge is a mountain village surrounded by dense forests and high peaks. Winters are deep and long, summers are bright. The village has about 200 houses, a small school, and a community hall. Adam, 16, came from the city, tired of fast-paced life. Every evening he watches sunsets from the mountaintop. One day, Elder Mr. Harper invites him. Adam, do you want me to tell you the village's old stories? Adam, yes, I want to hear them. The city is just noise and busyness. Mr. Harper patiently shares the village history. This village has always been known for nature's beauty and community cooperation. People face challenges together, whether winter or spring storms. Adam realizes this life, unlike the city rush, is meaningful. He decides to help the community, learn woodcutting, teach village children, and listen to elders' stories nightly. Maple Creek Village. Surrounded by maple trees and lakes, it has about 180 houses, a school, and a community hall. Every autumn, the Maple Sharing Festival is held. Sarah, 13, lives with her grandmother, learning the village's history and traditions. During the festival, Sarah explains how maple syrup is made and shares stories of maple trees. She realizes she can keep the village's traditions alive. The villagers are proud of children like Sarah, who stay connected to their roots. New Dale, a small village in dense forests and mountains with 160 houses, a school, and a community center. Most villagers cut wood for local markets. Emma, 15, moves from the city, captivated by the forest and village life. One day, she gets lost near pecan trees, panics, and calls for help. Villagers, including Mr. Collins and Mrs. Bent, find her safely. She learns that community power is the most important aspect of village life and decides to help protect the forest and assist villagers in all tasks. Emma teaches children about the forest and prepares wood supplies with the elders for the local market. This life is better than the city. Everyone is here for each other, and respect for nature comes first.